you guys have gone on this entrepreneurial journey yourselves. You've been in contact and rubbing shoulders with like some of the greatest mentors on the planet. Like, what are some of the hard knocks you guys have experienced along the way during this business? Because I'm sure there's a ton.
Yeah. Well, we went to our first business mastermind in, I think, March 2023 or something like that. And there was a saying that was said at that mastermind. And I heard that, great businessmen are terrible content creators and great content creators are terrible businessmen. And you see that because like most of the time people don't realize, but their favorite influencer is actually broke. and they don't even realize that. And whereas on the flip side, there's great entrepreneurs that have hundreds of thousands of fake followers because they just don't understand that. So the blend is being able to put the two of them together. And that's why like with what we've been able to do and being able to start combining that business acumen that we've been able to build and learn with what we've done. But at the beginning, it's like you're starting out, you've got 3 people that you're trying to feed. And you don't have that traction necessarily yet. Like it's hard to start building out that media company to where that thing's really monetizing, being able to feed 3 people, and then eventually, starting to bring other people in and starting to build that team out. So
yeah, that's one of them was that like, you want to go, if you want to go far, go together. If you want to go, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Like, sure, on paper, like if any of the 3 of us were doing what we were doing alone, like you're making great money.
Sure.
But at the start of this thing, for 3 people, it was not the case. Like it was trench work, and really, really going all in on building a media channel from the ground up. Like most content creators don't really get it like that until they get like several million followers, which is like where we're at now. But starting out, it was not like that at all. And one of the lessons we had to learn, like especially if you're listening to this and you're in media, is that, and you're a content creator, you can't really build a business on ad revenue. Which is like one of the first, like that was kind of like our first revenue stream that we had unlocked, was we were getting a lot of money from bonus programs and things that the different social media apps were paying us. Well, guess what? Those social media apps are basically like they own you at that point. Like you work for them at that point. So they can take that monetization stream away from you whenever you want. You're the product. And so that was one of the big things. Is one of the reasons why we started a newsletter, because we realized all of our followers on social media they are borrowed, not owned. Whereas like a newsletter, like when I heard that like newsletters were like 15 to 20x the value of a media company versus just your social following as it is, we were like, okay, guys, we've got to start this newsletter.
That sounds
good. But yeah, we've had experiences where like one of our core like ad revenue streams just like shut down, or like we got banned for like 30 days for just a random reason. Like it wouldn't even like the content was bad, but then it's like a wake up call. Like we're going down to the Facebook office, like, hey, like, can you reinstate? And it's just like, that's the wake up call. It's like, you can't build, if you're in media, especially content creator, and you want to build a business off of that, you have to have a stream that's not reliant just on like what YouTube pays you, or Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever your platform of choices, it could be all of them. You got to find something else. So that was one of the big lessons I think we learned early on.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest ones for me was probably the hiring. We at the service level, you see the School of Hard Knocks and like our media channel and all that, but we also don't see that we have, the newsletter, we have a content agency, we help people run like their personal brands. We have the community now as well. And, we're doing all these different things, but like, so in terms of like the content agency, which is a lot more service intensive, where you actually need, employees to help out and help with the delivery of it. And it was actually in the process of hiring our first U.S. employee. And I've always heard people say that, like, the first big hire you make is also the most important, because this person, it's like, you're not like this is not the person you're hiring when you're like balling out. This is the person you need when you got past the threshold of like, I can do all the work myself, versus now I need someone to actually come in and help me, so that way I can continue to keep growing. And one of the first hires we made, we had the interview process. I think Jack was on there with me. Is this lady was phenomenal on the interviews. Like had all the experience, had everything that we needed, and it was like, oh, okay, this is going to be the person that's going to be the solution to all of our problems. But what we didn't realize is that. So now I have not worked at like a corporate job prior to this. I don't think either of you guys really have either. I know
I did in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like never really gone through like a true hiring process, so really hired someone like for a US based role. So through this, I just did a completely like character-based, culture-based, assessment, right? Didn't actually do anything about like on the job related tasks or anything like that. And so when she came on the team, she was just not what she made out to be on the interviews. And, I kept we kept thinking it was ourselves, like, oh, we're just not training her well enough, or it's clearly something wrong with our systems and our processes. And it finally got to a breaking point where I think we're in Miami, and I realized that, like, look, like we're having to double check and do everything that this girl's doing over, and it's like just causing a much bigger headache, her being on the team. And we since then had to cut her. We cut her from the team, and we brought in someone else. And we realized that it's not your systems or the processes that's the problem. It's the actual person themselves, who the person that we have now on our team is absolutely incredible. Like I've realized that the difference between like an A player and like a C or a D player is absolutely massive. Because if you have an A player, that person will literally build out entire sections of the business for you, versus a C or a D player will, literally hinder your growth and bring down the rest of the team. They'll bring down the culture. They'll bring down all the other team members. And it's just I think we've put like such a big focus on like hiring now and being just so diligent to who we bring on our team, because you don't realize that one bad apple will mold the rest of the fruit.